What's going on, guys? This is our weekly solo player's guide to the Nightfall. This is our Warlock variant. If you're new to the channel, how we do it is we do all three classes, Warlock, Hunter, and Titan. So if you need any one of those guides, look in the description box down below. And we also do a challenge of Elders guide every single week with one class that I think is going to do the best as far as point making goes. So if that sounds at all interesting to you, go ahead and look down the description box below, because that link is also in the description. Now, with Destiny 2 coming out next Wednesday, I'm not exactly sure how we're going to rock the Nightfalls. For Destiny 1, we are going to do at least one guide a week for at least a couple weeks. And then whenever I'm high enough flight that I can solo the Nightfalls, in that we will just switch right on over to full-time Destiny 2. So otherwise, we will have plenty of videos not Nightfall related, Destiny 2. So hit the subscribe button if you're new. Keep on watching if you're old. And then anyways, let's go ahead and look at what the modifiers are for the week. And then we'll look at our setup as far as weapon route, recommendations, setup, subclass recommendations, all that good stuff. Modifiers this week include epic, heavily shielded, and highly aggressive enemies appear in great numbers. That's right. No more Daybreak, unfortunately. Especially with this week, it would have been really helpful. Fresh troops. Some enemy squads have been fortified with additional reinforcements. Match game. Enemy shields are resistant to all unmatched elemental damage. For this one, it's going to be the Siva Fallen. So we'll get into what you need in the setup section. Catapult. Thank God for this. Honestly, grenade recharge rate is greatly increased. And then, of course, they like to throw in that exposure week 1 after no Daybreak. Guardian shields are increased but do not replenish, which is a slight lie. They do replenish, but they just like inch along or centimeter along, depending where you're from. As far as setup goes, I would say you want void weapons. There are a lot of void shields because you are getting the Siva Fallen version of the strike this week. So Doom of Chelchis, Steel Medulla. I think those are the two best ones with void if you're going for adept weapons. Otherwise, a scout rifle of some kind would be preferable. The boss is Hive, I believe. So the damage Whirlwind's Curse doesn't apply to him, so don't worry about that as far as your loadout goes. I'm rocking Hand of Judgment, as you guys probably know if you've been around this channel for a little while. It's probably my second favorite weapon in the whole game, Chaos Dogma being number 1. You also want to go either Devil's Dawn, Ex Machina, or Event Horizon in void, preferably, because like I said, there are a lot of void shields, so just keep that in mind. The reason you go for those are they have the highest impact or the highest damage output I believe possible in the game right now as far as sniper rifles go, and you are definitely going to want sniper rifles. If you have a icebreaker, we do switch to that in the final section, so if you have one of those, you're going to want to bring it with you. Otherwise, make sure you bring a lot of special ammo synths. And then I'm rocking a void machine gun, but if you have a rocket launcher you prefer for strikes, bring that with you as long as it's void. And then of course we're rocking the Nothing Manacles and the Vampire build, which rocks like this. Embrace the void, killing enemies with Nova Bomb or any grenade triggers health, energy drain, and restores your health. You're going to want the Hunger, increases the duration of the energy drain effect. Lifesteal isn't as important, but it will help you a little bit just because of exposure. Energy Drain, in case you don't know what that is a powerful melee attack which drains energy from enemies and uses it to reduce the cooldown of your grenades. So you're going to get grenades faster if you're rocking Embrace the Void. And even quicker than that with the hunger. So with Catapult, that works out really well. I'd say super is your choice. I'm using Shatter. And then of course you want Scatter Grenades. So other than that, let's go ahead and rock this guide. Alright, so just like last week, this strike takes place immediately in the Nightfall tiered zone. You can skip all these enemies, I'm going to say that right now. I would highly suggest you don't. You are going to want these points because in the final boss fight, we're not going to gain about any points, just about, except for the final boss kill and some shanks. So, that being said, kill all these guys. It's not going to take you very long. Minus the captain, he might take a little bit longer. For some reason, I started this off with a solar machine gun, and that didn't help at all. So just make sure you got your void weapons, your void grenades. Go ahead, take his shield out. And then once you get rid of the majority of these guys, there are going to be some shanks that come strolling on in. And then there's also going to be a fallen ship that drops some more shanks and vandals. And I believe some dregs are in there too. By then, you should be able to have your super, depending on how long this takes you to kill this captain. And then just go ahead and rock out your... Once you kill everything, is what I'm trying to say. Can't think of it right now. Once you kill everything, whether you use your super, just a bunch of grenades, whatever, go ahead and pull out your Sparrow immediately and then just head on through. Alright, so normally I tell you guys to stop about here, but if you have your super, go ahead and just ride all the way up, and then just blast out these vandals and the servitor. There's going to be a knight over there. There's also going to be a couple acolytes, and there's going to be some dregs and some vandals. Go ahead and wipe them all out, take out the Siva cluster, and we'll move straight on in. Now once this door opens, there are going to be two major vandals, as well as I believe two, maybe three invis vandals, but those invis ones will just have normal health bars, so don't worry about that. As you can see, there you go. They will do a little bit of damage, so just be careful of that. As you can see, I just pull out my heavy weapon. Another pretty decent heavy weapon to use this week would be a Gallahorn. I should have said that in the setup, but totally spaced out on it. Go ahead and that will kill these guys pretty quickly as well. There we go. Now you can, if you want to, just go straight on into this room down here. Otherwise, you can kill these two dregs up here. Grab your heavy crate if you get it. Sometimes it doesn't spawn in. There's going to be some enemies down there. Just go ahead and wait on those guys. You'll get them in a minute. Come all the way back down here. It's important that you come all the way down to the end, because as you can see, a bunch of shanks are in here, as well as another major captain. There's like easily 8, 9, 10 shanks in here, it seems like. So just be very careful of them. Use these this little pillar as cover. Try to take as little damage as possible. Throw those grenades. And then once you get him down, go ahead and follow your little marker on your radar. And then at the bottom of this one, there's going to be like 3 or 4 more vandals. Those are vandals. And then once you head down there, go ahead and stop right about there. There's going to be a bunch of Vandals and another Captain in there. I think that one is just a normal red barred health enemy, so he should be able to be taken down pretty quick. Nope, he's also a major. It'd probably be smarter to save your super for this next section, to be honest. But that's up to you guys, obviously. In this room, there's going to be 2 servitors and some, I think, 4 vandals. So go ahead and take them out. They're going to be guarding the next Siva cluster. There was a Siva cluster in that last room. My grenade killed it, luckily. So just go ahead and worry about these guys. Now, sometimes all of these guys will be in this room that I'm standing in right now, so be very careful of that. That's why I say maybe hold on to your super for a little bit. Otherwise, they're going to be in that room there. There's going to be 2, I believe 2 majors in this room. I think one's a captain, and then there's this vandal. I believe that's correct. Don't quote me on that quite yet. Just be very careful of this guy if you leave him there like I did. Also be careful of scatter grenades because sometimes they blow up in your face. Anyways, there's that captain. And no, he is a regular bard, so there's only the 1 major vandal. Nope, 2 major vandals. Forgot about the guy in the back. Go ahead and just use your grenades. Whatever you got, throw them out. Throw them out, get these guys out of here quicker. Remember, grenade kills and super kills with this build will give you a smallest chunk of health back. So keep that in mind. Also, if you want to rock Red Death, that'll also give you some health back with every kill. And then once you kill that, hopefully you have a super again, because you are going to want it. I would say just spam some nades in here while the door is opening. There are going to be multiple majors in here. That's the yellow, stronger, heavy-duty enemies that you see right here. I think there's 4 major vandals and 1 major captain, along with the army of regular vandals that are in there. Also be careful, you want to stand back a little bit when that door opens, just because of those turrets. So just be careful of that. Get these guys out of here. If you take too long, the turrets will spawn in again, so keep that in mind as well. And then we'll move on again. Alright, once you get in here, there's going to be some guys over there. Just go ahead and throw your grenade. It should take out at least 2 of them. There we go. As you can see, we already got the gold tier because we got those points at the beginning. Though I'm not going to say those points wouldn't be there. Watch me. I think this is where I fail completely. Yes. If you're just be careful how you throw your supers, obviously. I don't think that's the last time I completely fail at that. But you want to do this a little bit quicker than what I'm doing it. Obviously, since we got the gold tier, we don't have to worry necessarily about the time bonus to get that gold completion. If you're still going for that icebreaker, sunrise bounties are the only way to go. So, and the only way to get those is to beat it, get a gold medal completion within the 30-minute timeline. If you can't do that, you're gonna have to try again for that sunrise bounty. But in this room, as you can see, there's really 3 or 4 major vandals. There's going to be 1 major captain. There's going to be some shanks and some vandals in there as well. You're going to want to be very careful with them. If you're using Devil's Dawn or Ex Machina for special weapons, those are going to do extra damage to fallen enemies, which is great, which is why I suggest those, as well as Steel Medulla for that Void Adept primary, if that's what you're going to be rocking. at least for this entry part, and then move over to something else we don't want to use. I don't think Steel Medulla would be the greatest choice for the boss fight. I would definitely say Scout Rifle it up. But here, again, just follow the markers. Sometimes the path will be different, so just keep that in mind. But since we got that gold medal completion, we're literally not worrying about enemies that we don't have to worry about killing. We're literally just getting through this to get through it now. So sometimes if you see that hole in the wall, that's where I was heading to right there. Normally you can just slide into there and it will, the Siva cluster will be at the bottom of the stairs on that side. But we get it a little bit differently here. I've never actually had it be in this room, I don't think ever. So it really threw me off. I wouldn't worry about that servitor if you don't have the gold medal yet. That's fine, just do damage to it, and as you'll see, once the boss spawns in, it'll actually give you points for killing that servitor despite not having done so. You'll see it here in a few seconds. Alright, what you're going to want to do is go ahead and examine the ogre, and then come running as fast as you can over here. As you see, there's those kill points. And you're going to want to jump right into here. Throw your super, throw all your grenades. I don't do it in this video, but I should have just pummeled him with all of my heavy ammo, all my special. Use it completely. You're not going to have to worry about ads spawning in until you get him down to about, I think it's like a third of health is when the servitors will spawn in. And not servitors, but shanks. Those guys will spawn in and you will have to worry about them because they will be able to get you at the right angle, so be very careful. Otherwise, you can pretty much just snipe him just about anywhere he goes, and then just crouch down when you need cover. You will not be able to stand up fully if you go all the way to the left. Conversely, if you go too far to the right, you'll slip down and you're probably going to die pretty quickly with that ogre chasing you and the ads that will spawn in and the boss shooting at you. So that's why we use this. It is very hard to not cheese this strike solo. It's pretty decently tough to do it with 2 other people, so I'd honestly say even with the team, cheesing it is probably the way to go. Now once he goes there, you can actually throw your grenades, and I would suggest doing that as they spawn in. And then as you can see, I just duck down when I need the health, look around to see if those shanks had spawned in yet, and then otherwise just use your scout rifle. Hopefully you are using a scout rifle. There are those shanks I was talking about. There's going to be about 3 waves of 4, I believe. I think that's right. It's either 3 waves of 4 or maybe it's 4 waves of 4. It's something like that. There's going to be a bunch of shanks that come in here. So just kind of shoot them as they're falling. And then throw your grenade. Maybe even throw your grenade if you can at the shanks. If you have something with life support on it, that would be pretty good for this section. Now there's where it gets tricky, is when he starts going over there. If you throw your grenade at the wrong spot or at the wrong time, you will hit this ogre, and that can potentially, depending on how low your health is, kill you with your own grenade. That actually ruined one of my runs, so that's, just be very careful of that. Once you get him down to about a quarter health, he will move further back into the far end of the room. So honestly, just try and snipe him if you can. I mean, just honestly use what you got. Throw whatever grenades you have. It does get a little difficult, but once you get rid of those shanks, normally the fallen wave with the last third of his health doesn't spawn in when you're up here, but for some reason it did this time. I'm not sure if you should expect that as well. Just assume you should. So, but once you get to that last third of health, it is pretty easy. Still keep an eye on your health, because if you get too far, see, I was about ready to cry right there. But go ahead and just, if you have to, I would honestly suggest not using your super, because you don't want to risk, with that jump that your super does, you don't want to risk falling down into the little, I don't know what you call it, the arena, or whatever this room you want to call is. But just keep throwing your grenades, keep sniping them as you can. Pop those special scents if you don't have the icebreaker. Just be very careful if you're not using icebreaker, because you're gonna have to wait 5 minutes. And yes, that ogre does stay right there the entire time, just about. So he does get incredibly aggravating. Just go ahead and keep whittling down the boss, and then once he goes all the way in the back, you can actually throw your grenades kind of towards that pillar. You should be able to hit him just about every time, and he'll go down pretty quick, because you'll also be able to peek over this little rock that we're hiding behind right now, and you should be able to snipe him with relative ease. Just duck back down when you see your health get into the red section. Other than that, that's going to do it for this guide. Like I said in the beginning of the video, look in the description box down below between today and tomorrow for the other guides. Challenge of Elders, if you're watching this on Tuesday, will be up in about another hour or so. So give that a little view. And then the other 2 Nightfall guides will be uploaded on Wednesdays. Hopefully you found this particular guide helpful, useful, informative, whatever. If you did, hit the like button, share it with your friends. It'll help my channel out a lot, and I'll love you for it. And other than that, I'll talk to you guys later.